Hey guys, so I'm doing another speed animation video of me speed animating this thing. It's gonna be a longer video though. It's gonna be like 20 minutes long, so longer than usual. But maybe some people will like that better because they'll be able to see stuff a little bit slower if they. I don't know. I don't know if maybe some people learn stuff from these, or maybe they just have fun watching them. I'm not. I don't know. But yeah, so here in the beginning, I'm just doing, the key poses. I timed everything out, according to like what words the audio I was using were saying. Just get the timing right. And I also did like a colored sketch before I even started to animate anything, just to get an idea of how I wanted it, kind of to overall kind of look, like color-wise, and how big I wanted the little deer guy, in relation to like the rest of the camera or whatever. So yeah, there's that. I don't know. One of the things about frame by frame animation is like, there's no like, oh, there's the background I painted. I did it inside, but this is the only thing I did inside that background. Otherwise, everything else I, animated 100% for free in Krita, because Krita is actually really good for animation, surprisingly, and it's totally free. The only downside, I think, is that they don't have a Mac version, but I mean, if you're using a Mac, that's a downside already. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So the thing about frame by frame animation is like, there's not really many like amazing tricks or anything for you to learn. You just like literally draw each frame and then you play it back, and if it doesn't look right, redraw the frames. And it's not like, with Maya, if you're doing 3D animation or something, there's some, certain shader that this person's using. You have to know what kind of shader they're using. Or if you're doing like After Effects, you need to know how to use the puppet pin tool or something properly to get a certain effect, or with frame by frame animation, you just draw the frame and that's it. And I like that because it's simple and it makes a lot more sense to me. Yeah, so you'll notice for my rough animation, I keep it super like minimal, because really I do like half the actual animation just when I'm doing the line art. I'll do a lot of in-betweens that I didn't even draw roughs for, because if you already have two rough drawings and you want to in-between something in between it, what's the point really of drawing a third rough drawing when you can just skip straight to doing the line art for that? If the in-betweens are close enough, it might actually make it even cleaner if you just do that. Oh, and here's the full rough animation that I did. As you can see, I left like a lot of stuff out, and I didn't draw too many frames actually, because for the way I work, I like getting to the line art layer as quick as I can, because that's the actual thing you'll see. When I export this as a video, no one sees the rough animation. They'll just see, the line art, the background, the colors. They just see what they see. And I deleted my sketch layer actually later on, just to save file size a bit. So, but I mean, that's just the way I like to work when I animate usually. If you want to me, I think it saves time too, and animation takes too much time already, so if you can find a way to speed stuff up, do it, man. Let's see, what else can I talk about? So, fun fact about this is, I had my Krita setting set to 300 DPI for this, which was kind of stupid for me, and I totally forgot to change it, because if you have something at a really high DPI, it's just going to increase your file size, and that will in hand make your, when you work on your actual project, it might make it lag a little bit, and especially towards the end, Krita started to lag because I had a number of layers and like, I think 68 individual frames. So Krita started to lag, but I think in part that was because I had it set to 300 DPI in the beginning, which you really don't need to do unless you're planning to print whatever you're, drawing. But I'm not going to print any of these frames, so 72 DPI probably would have been best. I'm pretty sure 72 DPI is enough for if you're just watching something on a screen, like electronically. So, and actually I tested it towards the end, like the last hour or two before I officially called it quits on this, and when I changed my file settings for this from 300 DPI to 72 DPI, the actual Krita file went from like 71 megabytes to 39 megabytes, so that almost halved my actual file size. So that's a lesson to you guys, and definitely to me. Don't animate at a higher resolution if you don't have to, because it's just gonna make stuff lag, and you're not really gonna get anything else out of it. I mean, unless, I guess I could print these frames out now at a decent size if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I still don't even really know the difference between what DPI really means. I know it means dots per inch, but you could have something at a resolution of 1920 by 1080 and have something else at 1920 by 1080, but they have different DPIs, but then it's like, they still look the same because they're the same resolution, but they have a different DPI, so I don't know. I don't really get the difference. Oh yeah, and I think I wrote down right there, there were 3 times where Krita crashed, and I think that was partly because I was animating at such a high DPI. I think that it kind of would make Krita lag and crash a few times if I was doing too much, because it was just a bigger file size. At least I'm assuming. But even then, when Krita crashed each time, I only lost 5 or 10 minutes of work, so it wasn't really a big deal anyways. Because I have that autosave feature turned on for Krita, which is really nice because it will Krita even autosaves in the background, so you keep on drawing while it's saving, which is a really nice feature. And I wish other programs kind of had that, because it's kind of annoying if your save takes 20 seconds or 15 seconds or 10 seconds or something like that, and you have to pause each time while something's auto-saving. And because I know when I use Adobe Animate for stuff, sometimes I have its autosave feature turned on, but each time it autosaves or saves in general, you can't draw anything. You can't touch anything in your Adobe Animate program until after it's done saving, which kind of just breaks up your workflow sometimes. So I don't know, it's just kind of annoying, but I like that Krita has that feature, just doing the saves in the background. Yeah, what else can I talk about? Line art is boring. Line art takes me so long, and it's I don't know, it has to be done, I guess, but it just takes so long, it's so tedious, and but the nice part about having, nice clean line art like how I usually do is when it gets to the coloring part, I can just use the bucket tool and fill all my solid colors in really fast. And I think doing all the coloring for all frames only took me 3 hours or so, which is pretty nice, because that it was definitely longer than I thought it would be. But coloring's still, usually the funner part, because it's just less exhausting on your mind, because, you're just blankly coloring things. You could color something while watching a movie or something else. Then doing rough animation, I really need to focus while doing that. So it's it's still fun, but it's, you know, more like mental energy or mental work or whatever. And yeah, so we're like about halfway through. I didn't bother, I don't know, long story short, I didn't bother to do the math, so when you get to the coloring part of the video, I think it's sped up at a different speed than like all the other video, but it's about the same. Probably won't even notice. Yeah, let's see. What else can I talk about for the next 10 minutes? Let me see. Well, here's a deer, and he's looking adorable. And yeah, it's always fun. Oh, one of the things, I guess this is also more towards the coloring part, but you know, my little deer character guy, he's supposed to have like 3 spots on his side, because usually, you know, when deer are young, they have little spots on their sides until they grow out of them. And I was originally gonna have those in here, but I just got lazy. Well, part of it was I got lazy and just didn't add them. But another part was like, you know, I could have added them, and maybe it would have only taken me, I don't know, maybe 20-30 minutes to draw those spots and have them, you know, not look janky each new frame or wobbly. But it's like, those spots don't really need to be there, so it's not like terrible that I did leave them out, you know. I don't necessarily gain or lose anything from having them in or not, so it's like, if I want to save myself the 30 minutes or whatever it would have taken to draw them all, you know, why not do it? So I didn't draw them, because, you know, it's my character, so so I can draw him with or without spots if I want, because nobody cares if he does or doesn't. Probably no one would even notice if I drew him without spots once and then drew him with spots again. Yeah. But yeah, I save these eyelashes usually for towards the end, you know? Just because they're like, you know, tiny little details, and if I had messed up on the eye and had to, you know, erase the eye lines on the line layer, you know, I would have to redraw those eyelashes anyway, so I just wanted to save them for last. Or at least towards the last. Oh, there's I'm yawning. There's the line art. Like all of it finished just in line art. But you will notice, I did like 3 in-betweens, before, or after, kind of towards the end, but I just included those in-betweens in that little line art preview thing. But I won't get to those until like the very end, because I just took up, yeah. So yeah, the fun part, coloring, I'm literally just using like the bucket tool, like, for 3 hours. It's pretty great. It's definitely the funnest part of anything, because it's like the easiest for me. Because I already had the colors picked out, you know, I already have this character, and I had already drawn that little sketch that you just saw. So I already knew what everything was gonna look like anyways. So you know, the decision-making part of the animation was over, so now it was just executing, I guess. Yeah. Let's see. Kind of like these mouth shapes. I kind of wish I made the lip syncing maybe a little bit clearer, but oh well, it's no big deal. I think it still reads well, you know. Oh yeah, so one of the things, if you'll notice when I have the timeline open, I don't have it open right now, but I did a lot of this animation on 2s and 3s, and then there were a few parts where I actually animated on 4s. I didn't animate on any 1s though, and if any of you don't know what that means, it's just, you know, if you're animating on 1s, that means you're adding animating a new frame for every 1 frame, but if you're animating on 2s, you're drawing a unique picture for every 2 frames. And obviously, animating on 3s, you're drawing a new picture for every 3 frames. Just, the more frames, the more smooth-ish it will look. But again, I think in part maybe it was because I got a little lazy and I didn't want to, draw so many frames to in between everything. I just kind of left things a little bit slower. But I think it still kind of works because, I don't know, it kind of still looks like it's paced okay to me. But maybe to other people, they aren't used to having such a rapid switch from like frame rates. I kind of like that stylistically though, because I feel like it gives a lot of variety to things, or to your animation, because you're having different like speeds of the actual frames, not just the speed that the character is being animated at, but the actual speed of the frames. I don't know. And it also saves time. If you animate things at a lower frame rate, that's less drawings to draw, so you're saving time. Oh, just there, Krita crashed again. But again, I think I only lost a couple minutes of work, so it was really no big deal. And really, Krita doesn't normally crash. It was more like, I think just because, especially towards the end, this file was getting really big. I kind of want to try animating something like longer with Krita, but still using like lesser frames, because I kind of want to see like how long can you animate something for, like 30, like can you make like a 30-second short film just in one Krita project and not have it be super laggy? Because I'm not entirely sure, because all the stuff I've animated in Krita has been less than like 9 seconds. So that might be something fun to try. Yeah. I also was kind of wondering if I should do like a tutorial for animating Krita. I know there are some already out there, but maybe, I don't know, maybe some people might like it, but it'd be something fun, because I haven't done like a tutorial video before. I always like trying new things, that's always fun. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe some people might like it, because, there's, even if there are tutorials for like everything already, there's sometimes like a lack of good tutorials, because I swear, so often when I'm looking up a tutorial for some animation program or something, it's like the guy takes like 5 minutes just to get to the point or something, and you have to like search throughout the video just to find that one thing that he says, because they'll take like a minute just to be like, hey, Adobe Animate is a program that you animate, and it's like, dude, shut up, I just want to like learn this one thing about it. So if I were to do a tutorial, it would be like to the point. Yeah. Yeah, we're just about done. We did it, guys. We got through all 20 minutes. Well, almost all 20 minutes. Yeah. I kind of like how this ended up looking. Kind of added that night. I've been liking adding these soft gradient layers over things with on an overlay layer, just to give it a little more, something, so it's not just flat colors. I think it just, adds some interest to how everything looks. So yeah, we're like basically done. This is what I was talking about. I just added a few in-betweens at the very end of everything just to smooth it out. Yeah. So this is how it looks at the very end. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I don't know, maybe some people learned some stuff from this, maybe some people just like to watch or whatever. Yeah. I like it. I need to animate more like this. So yeah. thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you all whenever the next time I make something is. So yeah, see ya.